A very good morning from Belgrade, the capital of the Republic of Serbia and one of the great cities on the mighty Danube River. It's actually on the confluence between the Sava and the Danube. It's home to about 1.5 million people, and there is lots to see, to do and learn about, and that's exactly what I'm planning to do in this video. We're not in the main square yet, but we are in the most central square called Terazije. Behind me is the Hotel Moskva. It is adorned with statues and gold decorations. Pretty grand looking place. There's the entrance. Lots of people hanging out in the square here. And on my left is a water fountain, and we're going to cross that crossing. Take a walk about 100 meters down to the left and hopefully turn up at Republic Square. So underneath the flags, along one of the main shopping streets, past a few grand water fountains, many of which in the city of Belgrade, by the way, are drinkable. We arrive at this place right here, Republic Square. This is probably the more famous square of the two. It's where people meet up, and it has, over there behind me, a number of nationally important buildings and monuments. The chap on the horse is Prince Mihailo. He ruled Serbia twice in the 1800s, but was assassinated in 1868, and the statue of him on his horse was erected there in 1882. Behind him is the National Museum of Serbia. It is the largest and oldest museum in the country. It was founded in 1844, but it didn't move into that impressive structure until 1950, and it wasn't open to the public in that building until 1952. And then just to the right of that is the National Theatre of Serbia. It was built in 1868 and opened in 1869 on the instruction of Prince Mihailo, would you believe? He had seen a performance of the Serbian theatre from Novi Sad, which back then was in the Austro-Hungarian Empire, and he was so impressed he decided to build and open his own theatre here in Belgrade. It was modelled on the famous Scala Theatre in Milan, but unfortunately Prince Mihailo never got to see it completed or see any theatre inside of it because he was assassinated 1 year before it was completed and opened. On one side of the square there's this busy road, and then on the other side, if I turn around, you can see a quieter dining area as well as a hotel that looks like it's fresh out of the Austro-Hungarian Empire, and a very communist looking Yugoslav era building next to it. Not sure what's going on there. Side entrance into the museum. We've got the police, we've got the army. Someone important might be in town, about to have a look around the museum. Okay, let's see if we can cross this road, see what else we can find. From Republic Square, we enter the Bohemian district. You can hear a Serbian traditional band playing to the dinner guests behind me there. is a very artsy area. It's got this lovely cobblestone road that runs along the whole length of it, and it's where you'll find all the artists and free thinkers, the poets, the drawers, the painters. It's nice just to walk down because you can see all the people enjoying the food at the restaurants and bars and taverns and pubs. And as we saw earlier, even musicians serenading them as they eat. The area gained popularity when a Czech businessman came here and opened up a brewery. You can actually still see the abandoned chimney of the original brewery up above the actual buildings on the street. When Belgrade was a city in the Ottoman Empire, there were at least 273 mosques in this city alone. These days, there is just one left, and that is the mosque that you can see behind me. It is called the Bajrakli Mosque. It was built in around 1575. And I am not sure if it is open to visitors or not. I have seen some people come and go, so I think what I'm going to do is poke my head in and see whether I'm kicked out or invited in. As you can see, the door is open. It is built of stone, and it is a very impressive structure. There's the minaret up there. How old is the mosque? How long has it been here?
This mosque?
Yeah.
This mosque, 1522.
Oh, okay.
Before 502 years. This is the first mosque in Belgrade.
Is it the only one now? Just one? Just one?
They said only this one. 272 mosques like
really?
this. In Belgrade only.
Yeah.
No, nothing, only this one.
And this is the last one?
Yeah, coming war, too much war, Europe, here.
Well, I got an invite to close the door behind me and head inside the mosque and have a look for myself, which I did. Got talking to someone in there who was telling me about the history of Islam and the history of the mosque itself. He was telling me that it is a mosque built over one story with an octagonal dome and a stone and brick minaret. Really interesting to go inside and have a look for myself. I am now back on one of the main shopping streets that runs all the way from Republic Square up to the fortress, and I am going to be heading up to the fortress very soon. But before we do, we're going to walk over to the cathedral and I'll show you that. By the way, that is a water fountain, and we are heading up in this direction. Plenty of people have been using it today. It has been 31 degrees and very, very hot out here in Belgrade. Lots of interesting buildings as we walk along the pedestrianised street here. Every city has an umbrella street these days, and Belgrade's one is right here underneath the red umbrellas. I think we've got to hit a right here and then we'll be at the cathedral. Just outside the cathedral now, you can probably hear the bells chiming. And across the street, I'm going to show you in just 1 second, a really good example of 3 different styles of architecture that you get here in Belgrade. Style number 1 is the brutalist Yugoslav type communist blocky buildings. And then we have an Ottoman era building. And then it looks like a building with Austrian Hungarian influence. Before we head inside for a look, I thought I would just tell you a thing or two about this cathedral. As said, it is called the Cathedral of St. Michael. It is a Serbian Orthodox cathedral built between 1837 and 1840. Before that, another cathedral, or church at least, was on this site. It is one of the most important religious sites in the entire country, with most Serbs just referring to it as the cathedral. Okay, let's see what we did with the mosque. Will we be welcomed in or kicked out? This is Academic Park, or Studentski Park. It's a block of just greenland here right in the centre of the city of Belgrade. It's a nice peaceful area with high-rise buildings surrounding it. There are sections that are fenced off, and that's because in 1968 they found the remnants of a Roman bath system that dates back to the 3rd century right here in this area. This is another one of those come back in 30-40 years time slots in my videos, and that's because this bench right here was made out of a pagoda tree that was planted here about 120 years ago. The tree was 25 meters tall, 4.25 meters in diameter, but when they realized it had caught a disease, they had to cut it down, and out of the roots of the tree they made this bench. They also planted 3 young trees around it, so maybe one day if you come back in the future, those 3 trees will also be made into benches as well. Well, I've now made it all the way up to Belgrade Fortress, and I was going to say before I left the church, but it was so quiet inside, I didn't want to disturb anybody, but 85% of Serbians are Serbian Orthodox Christians. So the church is a really important part of most people's lives. The fortress dates back to at least the 2nd century, but there are signs in the grounds of the fortress itself that shows that it may have gone back even further than that. Dozens of wars over the millennia has really shaped this fortress. It's been destroyed time and time again, but then up from the ruins, whoever the rulers were at the time decided to rebuild and make it even stronger, even better. There are large bricks that I saw as I was heading up here that the Romans put in place, and since then it's possible to see the alterations made by the Byzantine Empire, the Ottoman Turks, the Principality of Serbia, the Kingdom of Serbia. Walking around here is like travelling through time. It's also a really large site, so leave at least half a day to come and walk around. It's free to enter, and at the back there is a very large park area called the Lower Town, and it's a place that was historically the main battlefield where whoever owned this kingdom at the time were prepared to fight the enemy as they tried to get up onto the banks of the Danube and the Sava and up onto this ridge. Coming up, you'll see lots of different parts of the castle, including drawbridges, towers, gunpowder rooms, artillery quarters. There's even some of the old cannons that were used that I photographed just a few moments ago across the moat. Up on top of the wall behind the camera, I'll turn it around so you can see people up there waiting for the sunset, but I was up there about 10-15 minutes ago and it had already disappeared behind some clouds on the other side of the river. There is a yellowish glow and a really strange light falling on the fortress now. It is very, very nearly time to get back into the old town and see what things are like when day turns into night. I've heard Belgrade is a bit of a party city, so we will see. The sun is probably setting right about now over those buildings in the distance. The yellowish orange glow that you can see is caused by the sun bursting through the clouds. There's the Victory Monument straight ahead, and as you can see down in the river, you can probably hear as well, the party boats are in full swing down there. They are grooving away already as we look across what I think is the Sava River, and then just here on my right is the confluence between the Sava and the Danube. Not so much parties, but just tons of pubs, restaurants, bars, taverns. The streets are lined with all of these amazing places. Everybody is out. It is 10 p.m. It is central Belgrade, and I am about to head back to the hotel. I'm cutting the day short by the looks of it. Thanks very much for watching though, and more videos coming from Serbia, from Belgrade very soon. See you in the next one.